What's up, guys? Andrew here for Simply Sports. I had another Team Fit Series video ready for you guys, but I put it on the back burner when I saw the Jamal Adams trade, so that's what we're talking about today. As a Bills fan, I've watched Adams a lot and saw him a few times live. He's a fascinating player talent-wise and how he was used by Jets defensive coordinator Greg Williams. My whole goal for this video is to tell you guys something you don't already know about Jamal Adams and what he's going to do in Seattle in their base cover 3 system. In exchange for the All-Pro safety, Seattle basically gave up 2 firsts and a third, if you offset the other assets. The haul the Jets are getting is somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500 points on the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart, which is worth somewhere between pick 10 and pick 6 in the draft. It's likely probably less capital than the Bears gave up in the Mack deal, and about what the Rams and Texans gave up in the Ramsey and Tunsil deals. So did Seattle overpay for Adams? Maybe a little bit. But football isn't played in a vacuum. And there's plus value in paying Adams even after you extend him. Adams played as a box safety because he's the most disruptive safety in the league near the line of scrimmage. Not because he can't cover. You want him playing downhill because that's where he's truly great. He's a phenomenal blitzer. Blitzed 90 times in 2019 and have 6.5 sacks, 13 QB hits, and 10 tackles for loss. Which is just remarkable considering he missed 2 games. He's basically another pass rusher, and Greg Williams used him this way even more against inexperienced quarterbacks. He swung the Giants game single-handedly and exposed Saquon in pass pro. He pretty much exposes everyone in pass pro, regardless of who you are. Hell, even one of Jamal Adams' 4 missed tackles on the season was a play that he exposed Leonard Fournette and pass protection. And so on this play, you're not going to see Chris Conley come in motion, which is what Adams immediately looks at. From our perspective, to the right, Minshew looks away and Adams is going to go. And when you see, Leonard Fournette is a player who has 40, he's got 25 pounds on Jamal Adams, about 240. But Adams is going to beat Fournette to the punch. And he's immediately got Minshew in a bad spot. Now Minshew climbs back up into the pocket. Again, one of only Jamal Adams' 4 missed tackles on the season. And what you're not going to see here is Marcus May overplaying this corner route, which is going to leave Chris Conley open on a route that he takes upfield for a long touchdown. But even on this play, you see how Adams uses his hands like a pass rusher. That immediate punch on Fournette. And the immediate ability to redirect his momentum. And even though he didn't make the tackle, in most cases he does make this tackle. When the Jets didn't play Jamal Adams in the box, they often played him in a too-high role as the deep safety. And Jamal Adams' tackling is a huge component to why he was so effective in this role as well. Not quite as effective as when he was in the box, but he cleans up for a lot of plays when he has to play downhill, and he often reacts very quickly to some of these short passes. Even if they block it upright, Jamal Adams is often the first one to the ball. And when you say box safety, Adams is often a huge component to the run game. As you see on this play here against the Miami Dolphins, he's going to get on the edge of that offensive lineman. And with the fullback coming across the formation, he's actually going to occupy 2 blockers for them to fill this hole. On this run play, you're going to see Bradley McDougald being blocked by Christian Kirk on the right side, and he's going to have to make a play in this hole. And he doesn't. And this was a big problem with Seattle. Seattle was a team that gave over 50. They gave up over 50 10-plus yards runs, 4.9 yards per carry on the season. So they were really rough against the run, and Adams is going to help that immediately. Same thing in the screen game. McDougald was a player who missed 15% of his tackle this past year, as opposed to Adams, who even with that reckless abandoned play style, only missed about 5%. So good players are going to make any scheme better, and Seattle's been running this base cover 3 system for a long time now. And there's a bunch of things that this system kind of requires. Usually corners, the teams who run this system want corners with long arms, usually 32 plus inches, and they often have a size profile for arm length for a corner because they ask their corners to play a lot of press bail in this scheme. There's a few things that can be a catalyst. The pass rush. San Francisco runs a version of this scheme, and I would say that it's a pretty basic scheme, single high scheme. It plays really fast, I think it allows its players to play really fast. Some of the things that make this scheme go are actually the safeties themselves. And so back when Seattle was awesome, they had Earl Thomas who could line up 20 yards off the ball and make plays in the run game and work the seams and all that kind of stuff. Now Seattle, they don't have the same personnel, obviously, but Quandre Diggs, especially the last 5-6 games of this past year, was really good from that single high roll. Even when they gave some man looks out of it, they actually go too high, more than I expected. And so you can play Adams like in that too high roll. He's going to move around a little bit. But the problem with Seattle in general is, I mean, especially if Clowney doesn't come back, their pass rush is going to be brutal. And so if you can't rush the passer with 4, you've got to scheme it up. Bobby Wagner is a player who blitzed 71 times last year, so Seattle is definitely aware of this weakness, and you can get creative with where you bring pressure from when you have Adams on the field. And obviously, you're going to have to play San Francisco twice. They're in your division. They're the most pressing issue if you're Seattle, and they've really got to be able to stop the run. And here's McDougal again, just getting absolutely taken out by Kyle Juszczyk, and that's where I think a lot of the impact that Adams can make is, especially in the run game, because Shanahan is absolutely phenomenal in terms of attacking defenses. And then you have that tight end versatility. Adams he's a very long player, 94th percentile arm length. And he's so damn physical. I know he's 214, 215, but he plays like he's like 240, 242. And so, in man coverage situations, short downs, you're going to want him on Kittle a lot of the time. Because he really is great at playing through the catch point and disrupting these plays. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you guys want to see for the next time. I think we're going to keep doing a few more Team Fit Series videos related to the 2020 draft before we move on to the 2021 class. But yeah, whatever you guys want, let me know, and I'll see what I can do.